swinging Spaniard has been giving it her all this week, and she's not going to take her foot off the gas here as the trophy gets closer. Kari Webb looking to minimise the damage, or looking for a miracle to get the par putt in at 15. About as good as she could do. Bogey 13, bogey 15. Webb drops back to -10. Paula Creamer is at present at -10. That may change though here.
Oh, imperative she makes this par putt to share top billing on the leaderboard with Webb. Oh, what a good putt that was by Paula Creamer. The pressure is on.
That was the putt of someone who is intent on winning. Wow, what a positive stroke that was. And we need another one here. Angela Stanford to make it a three-way tie for the lead at -10.
One shy of the leaders, Angela Stanford. You actually find it quite remarkable when you feel how poorly she has played, and I think she would agree with that, but she still finds herself in contention.
Michelle Wee finishes birdie and comes home with a round of 70 to complete her week at -5, and presently a tie for 9th with Teresa Liu. That position may alter with everything that's going on out on the golf course. This has to go in for Atha to stay one back from the lead. Very nicely done from where she was. That's a great up and down from the Spaniard. (16). If 15 was just about the toughest hole on the golf course, this isn't far behind. It measures 382 yards. Kate Burton, tell us why it's so difficult.
Well, the fairway slopes from left to right, and it's a demanding drive to get away. Got to be careful. Certainly those right-hand bunkers do come into play. You see Webb most probably go once again with a 3-wood, but today the pin is back 34 yards on. We haven't seen many players go beyond the hole, and so a lot are coming up shy, and there's a slight rise in the green. So if you are short, it's not going to run down towards the hole, and you are faced with a very difficult putt. So got to get your distance control just right for your approach, but accuracy imperative from the tee.
And it's only in recent times that anyone has been able to manage to birdie the 16th. Those 3 birdies have come from So-Yeon Yu, Inbee Park, and Suzanne Pedersen. Sweaty palms territory here. Four players within one shot of the lead. Here's one of them.
Yeah, it's a good looking shot from Atha. Just on the line of the bunkers, though, well and truly over. That is perfect. Just the wind has just swung around here. It's actually coming across them left to right. And that is a weird direction compared to what it was in the last hole.
So they changed direction at 17 and almost come back the reverse way. Paula Creamer, joint lead now. It's 156 yards, the 17th today. It's a front right pin. I've seen a couple of people chip in. Stanford one back.
Now, Angela's got that going a little further left of the bunkers. She'll clear the bunkers, but I don't know what's her rough is over there.
Well, she it looks like it's sitting all right. It's just if she's far enough around the corner to have a good look at the hole.
And it's a left pin as well, so that's going to make it even more difficult. Morgan Pressel's tee shot at 17. Even par for the round today. Well, we know what she thinks of that. She might have to reconsider.
No way.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that one. I knew that all along.
You got a smile from Paula Creamer. They're good friends off the golf course as well. Solheim Cup teammates. Yeah, that was a really idiotic shot, that one there.
Ridiculous.
From Pressel.
Yeah, putt of 3 inches coming up.
I can't stand it when I do that.
Oh, I hate to tell you, this is heading bunker. This is going towards the left traps. I don't think it's got enough to get over.
Oh, it is in the bunker, Sandy. Headed straight in.
Wow, this is extraordinary.
Well, and she's really left with no shot because all of a sudden the ravine comes into play and she's going to be blocked out by the trees on the corner of that dogleg.
Teresa Liu's second last tee shot of the week. A very productive week for her. And she's using the contours to come up with a pretty good tee shot as well. So an outside chance of a 2, but it will be a 2 for Morgan Pressel. But here's where the main game is, and here is the lady who looked as though the title was in her grasp with a 3-shot advantage, but things have changed dramatically. Updating you on everything that's gone on. Paula Creamer, perhaps her chance looked to be gone when she did this. Missing a par putt at 13, not even touching the hole.
Morgan Pressel playing alongside Creamer today. She made a 2 at the 8th hole. Morgan Pressel had been a couple of bogeys also littered her scorecard, but look at this terrific tee shot on 14. She did go in to make a birdie, and that moved her to 6 under.
Then at 13, Angela Stanford completed an extraordinary up and down, put her second shot in the bunker, and that's the reason for her reaction.
Kari Webb did have a commanding lead, but this missed putt for a par on the 13th all of a sudden brought the chasing pack an awful lot closer.
And the reason they were closer is because of Paula Creamer's birdie at 15. It took it to -10, and that would be good enough for a share of the lead with the events that were about to unfold.
Atha Munoz got off to a bad start, bogeying the first and the second holes, but found form here on the 14th, making a birdie. And Atha now finds herself just 1 shot behind Kari Webb.
But this is the big shot. Kari Webb's tee shot at 15, put it in the water on Friday, and does the same thing on Sunday. And that cost her 1 shot, a bogey there at 15 for our leader. And then what about this for a par putt from Paula Creamer, Kate?
This was critical for Creamer. Oh, look, the fist pump there. She knows exactly how big that putt is. There's big leaderboards around that part of the golf course. She'll know what the situation is.
She's come up just short with her tee shot at the par 3 17th. We've seen already a couple of people hole this from off the green. That'll get her thinking. And Kari Webb, no shot here, is going to have to come out sideways. And is staring right at another bogey, her 3rd in the space of 4 holes, if it happens that way.
She finished so strongly yesterday in the 3rd round. I believe she was 3 under for the last 5 holes and chipped in on 16. Today is another story.
Big putt, not in length, but in importance. Yes. She's looking the goods, Paula Creamer. She's looking solid. Whereas Kari Webb is feeling the strain, and that reaction said it all. Is she aware of what's going on behind her? There are plenty of leaderboards around this course, and you wouldn't be at all surprised if Paula wants to know what the situation is out on the golf course when she makes her way to the 18th tee. Angela Stanford, Kate, has hung up in the bank there. And you talked about being blocked out. She's got a left pin here. This is no easy shot. There aren't any such things as easy shots when you get to this stage on Sunday.
No, we are now at the sharp end of the golf tournament. And she's only one behind Creamer and Webb. And Webb once again in trouble. Sometimes it's quite hard to see just how blocked out the players are. But as you say, Pete, given that left hole location, it's a bit like trying to play a hook off a downhill lie over those palm trees.
All in all, best of luck.
That's
Could have
also
been
the
a
problem. When you
Yeah.
try and play a hook, you're also going to get a fair bit of run off the golf ball as well. She
Yeah.
was fortunate it didn't run on any further. I've seen a few balls disappear into the water behind the green on 16, but it's dry.
She's made some very, very clever up and downs today, and she'll need to make another one there to continue her chances, Angela Stanford. Meantime, up at 18, this group that was placed on the clock earlier, Teresa Liu, Paula Creamer and Morgan Pressel. Words got around. Paula always carries a large gallery with her wherever she goes in the world. But now that she's up there and by the look of things about to hit the front, now she's hit it in the trap every day this week and she's done it again. She will not be able to believe that.
And the tee's been moved forward as well today. But the one consolation for Creamer, it is a par 5. Pin is a front hole location. Great swing. Look at the power into the ball for Paula Creamer. Doesn't leave anything behind on that swing.
Ather still very much in contention with what's happening with her three main rivals. Put this close and things could change even more. And it just doesn't come up the ridge. Only needed to be another 2 or 3 feet, and that could have been down by the hole, and she knows it.
Once again, a big shot required by the LPGA and World Golf Hall of Famer Kari Webb, her third into 16. Oh, this was terrific.
Oh, that might be the shot that might do it.
Drawing on her considerable levels of experience in the game.
Boy, if she could make par here, that would be some par. Paula Creamer has fired her drive into the trap at 18 for the 4th successive day. It's just like we're rewriting the script from days gone by. Kari Webb didn't want to rewrite it at 15. She has, and now she's got to get on with it. Paula and Kari locked at -10. Angela Stanford with her issues at the 16th. Ather has an outside chance of a birdie. There are still 4 possibles in a dramatic conclusion at the Sentosa Golf Club. I hope you're enjoying our final round coverage of the 2014 HSBC Women's Champions. Here we are with the putting action at the final hole. Suzanne Pedersen for a birdie to get it to -8. And it will be a closing round of 70. Suzanne looking for the victory here this week to take the world #1 ranking from Inby Park. That's not going to happen. But still a top 10 finish. She's had plenty of those in her career. That is her 90th top 10 finish. Will add to the $11.7 million she's won already. Paula Creamer spoke yesterday about the fact that she's hit it in the trap every day. And there is the unmistakable ball of the lady known as the Pink Panther. It's got a passenger just at the moment, but it is, well, it's a genuine 3-shot hole now. Creamer, after hitting it in the bunker this week, has made par every single day so far. Angela Stanford vitally needing to get up and down from all the way at the back of 16, and has that awkward length if she's going to do it. This is quite an amazing conclusion, where it seemed as though we might have been sailing towards Kari Webb's second victory in this tournament. Who knows who's going to be holding the trophy? The crowd waits at 18 and watches the events unfold on the big screen, which is over to the right of where we're looking now. So they're quite aware of everything that's going on. That's if you can keep track of it. The pendant is waiting, the necklace and the trophy and the cheque, but no one knows who's going to have it yet, the way things are going. It's just been simply amazing over the last half hour or so. Kari Webb wasn't quite rehearsing the victory speech, but it looked as though she was going to capture one of those adornments for the second time. Paula Creamer might take it away from her. Here she is with her second shot out of the trap at 18. Just looking to get it up into position. Looks as though there's not much room with all of those bunkers in front of her, but there's plenty of room there, and that's what faces her with her third shot in. Sandy McKenzie has come in from out on the course to witness one of the more dramatic conclusions that we're likely to see, Sandy.
Pete, I have seen all the action out there, and it's hard to believe what I've been watching. Every time I watch Kari, she seems to play badly, so she might put in a request that I no longer do that, I think. But boy, now Afa.
Well, she's still very much in the hunt, especially if this falls. This is for a share of the lead.
Yeah, didn't get the read right on that putt for Afa. She's left herself that awkward length for her par putt.
Meantime, ahead at 18, Morgan Pressel also laying it up into position. She's had 2 twos on her card in the last 4 holes. The 14th and 17th, both the par 3s. Can't figure in the win, but will likely get top 10.
Well, this is a crucial putt for Angela Stanford. This really, really needs to go in. Oh, just slips by on the top side, so it's going to be a drop shot. So Angela drops back to -8.
Kari, trying to keep that bogey off the card, has come up with a spectacular approach here, but the job is not done yet. To keep it level with Paula Creamer, and then she's got the difficult 17th, the par 3, and then who knows, perhaps an opportunity to pick one up at the last. Statistically anyway, it seems as though that possibility exists, but it's such a tough pin at 18. No time to worry about that just for the moment. To remain in a share of the lead at -10. Well done. What a good par that was. And if she's holding up the trophy in a little while, Sandy, she'll talk about that par at 16.
Yes, that was certainly a pressure pitch that she played in there. So very good par for Kari, just to maintain that joint lead with this lady, Paula Creamer.
So what do you do in this circumstance? There's the difficulty that faces her. It's the pin all the way down in the bottom left-hand corner. She's probably had a peek at a leaderboard. Do you get adventurous and really have a fly at it, or do you just try and stick to the game plan?
Well, the problem that she's got is it's such a tough pin in that front left corner. She can afford to be a little bit right of the flag. She doesn't want to get probably too cute because it will feed around, but you can see exactly what she's got there. The pin is just directly over the corner of the water there.
And I can tell you, I paced it out this morning, Sandy. It's 8 paces from the flag to the water, and it's about 7 or 8 paces from the flag up above to the ridge.
Well, what she mustn't do here is get this shot on the wrong level. If she can just try and get it in that bottom left corner, if she sort of puts it a little bit right of the pin, it will go, even if she's a little bit past, it'll go past and feed back around again. She's lining up, you can see there, just to the right of the flag.
Where's this going? On
Well,
the wrong level.
Very much on the wrong level. It's a long, long way away, and that's what she didn't want to do on this hole. She left herself a really tough position to make 2 putts down there. Let's take a look at Paula. Now drives into it. Just drops down. You see she caught that a little heavy. Just open the club face up a little bit and let it drift out to the right side. Yes, I know. I feel your pain, Paula.
Well, I rolled a couple of balls on the 18th this morning, and you have to aim a long, long way away from the pin to get it anywhere near the pin from that top tier. All of that still to come. Atha's par putt at 16. She stays 1 back. Tough par 3 to come, and then the par 5 final hole.
It's been a really good performance by Atha, remembering she started with 2 bogeys.
Yeah.
Morgan Pressel, much shorter shot in than Paula Creamer had. And Heresay spin. She knew she was past the flag. And now she knows that's going to be quick.
Inby Park hole just about that exact same putt earlier. 17. We talked about the difficulty of it. It doesn't measure too long at 156. Tell us why it's tough.
Well, as you can see, it's a relatively flat hole, but the problem you've got here, it's a huge green. It goes back 52 paces, but the pin today is 12 on and 5 from the right, so it's tucked it very close to those bunkers on the right-hand side there. So, you know, you're going to find most players here playing just fractionally left, but that is all in your eyesight. From the tee, it's just over the bunkers.
And those stats flatter the hole a bit because there's been a few birdies. We've seen a few people chip in. Atha's been really good on the par 3s this week. She's giving that a good long look as if she's played a beauty. And she was right.
Yeah, it's a nice shot from Atha. Puts herself up in birdie range. Teresa Liu from an awkward spot here at 18, just coming up a little shy, but she'll have the uphill putt.
Should it be required, 18 will be played as the playoff hole, and it'll keep on being played until the deadlock is broken, if there is one. Got a hard bounce.
Yeah, didn't it, Justin? Let that feed all the way up over that ridge, then it runs away again at the back. So again, she's got a putt that's going to come up a hill, over a ridge, and then down the hill. Not the position she wants to be in.
Angela getting to the stage where she needs to get this very close. After that drop shot at 16, and that is not what she was after. So maybe her chance might have just disappeared.
What a shame, because it was such a horrible start for her, and the way she's clawed her way back into this event.
So it stands like this. Paula Creamer's got a difficulty. She's on the wrong level at the 18th green, and Kari Webb has a long-range birdie putt coming up at 17. They're locked together at 10 under. Atha and Angela still in the fight.
cutting action on 18. Well, Paula Creamer has a lot to do here. This is a big, sweeping downhill putt. Once it gets to that dark green patch in front of her, it runs down into that big swale.
And Sandy, I rolled a ball from here, and she is not even looking at the hole here. She is aiming around about 45 degrees away from the hole, and she's almost got to stop it on the ridge, almost in a direct line from the camera to the HSBC. There's a really good illustration of it. Got to nearly stop it and then close your eyes and hope for the best. And you can't convince yourself to aim far enough away from the hole.
Pretty good effort there from Paula, but she's got that putt for par to stay in the joint lead with Kari, remembering that Kari has a really, really tough putt on 17 from long range.
And also remember too what Kari did with her drive yesterday. She absolutely laced her drive at 18, and what she would give for that. She has not won since the 2010 US Open, Paula Creamer, and a lot of people keep reminding her about it.
Oh, she would absolutely just kill for a win at this point in time, and this has been such a great opportunity today, and she would really hate to muck that opportunity up on the 18th.
The trophy awaits, but the engraver hasn't got to work just yet. Lorena Rachel won the first one. G.H. Shin, Ai Miyazato, Kari Webb, Angela Stanford and Stacey Lewis have their names on that trophy. And it's anyone's guess whose name is going to be added in 2014. A moment ago, Paula Creamer's birdie putt at the last from the wrong level had to almost have her back to the hole to give it any chance of getting anywhere near it, and even then she hadn't gone far enough away, but the chance of the par is there.
From one tough putt to another, Kari Webb from the back of 17. Well, it's actually the middle of the green on 17. It's so large. Now it's going to go downhill. Beautiful, beautiful putt by Kari Webb. Fantastic control over that. So it is a 3 for her.
And this week at the 18th hole, Kari Webb has made 2 pars and 1 birdie yesterday. All of that to be considered in a moment. Very quick putt for Morgan Pressel down the hill for a birdie at the last. And that will turn out to be a round of 71 for the young lady from the United States, if she can hold that. Another good finish.
Now Atha can join the party here. Is to go in a share of that lead.
Whoa. Here we go. Atha gets it to -10. Paula has no certainty to stay there, and she could come from the clouds and tip them all out. This to finish at 10 under for a par at the last in a round of 69. And now she can only watch and wait. Is that elusive victory going to come Paula Creamer's way? Her faithful caddy Colin Cann, who's been by her side in the good times and the struggles. It's an anxious wait.
Well, it's certainly becoming a dramatic finish. We thought Kari might have just cruised along today, but it's not been the case. Morgan Pressel for par. She finishes in a tie for fourth. Big hug there for Paula.
I mentioned Kari's record on the 18th. Atha has birdied the 18th. 2 of the 3 rounds that she has played in. So here it is. 498 yards. They've moved the tee up, so it's actually 476. And you have to do what Paula wasn't able to do, avoid that bunker.
Big bunker on the right there. You've got to keep just to the left-hand side of that. Then you've got to make the decision with a good drive. Are you going to land it in that area there, short of the green? Or are you going to throw caution to the wind and have a bit of a go? Kari now needs a birdie. Atha probably needs a birdie because we've got her in the mix as well now. So at least they know what they have to do. Paula has posted the score, but look where the pin is today. That really tight front left pin. You mustn't get on the wrong level on this green.
All of a sudden, with 1 to play, Atha finds herself up at the top. She's only ever had 1 LPGA victory. She's having a long look at it, and that is long. She has cut off a lot of the water there.
Took that very tight, Atha. It's a brave tee shot. Now for Kari.
She wants what she did yesterday. Uh-oh. In Paula's bunker.
In Paula's bunker, and we're not seeing it, so it's probably fairly... Oh, we saw it duck out then. It's fairly close to the lip. There it is, the ball of Kari Webb.
Well, you can forget about going for the green in 2 now. It's a 3-shot hole.
She'll have absolutely no choice as to do what Paula did and just get it down the fairway.
Angela Stanford, the victory pretty much out of the question now. But what a fight back it was.
Looking at it a little anxiously there. Oh, and that's why she is also in that bunker. When they bring this tee forward, that bunker really comes into play.
So she's going to collect a big check, but she's not going to get her name on the trophy for a second time. The galleries making their way down, snaking down 18.
Well, you nearly have to say at the moment, advantage Atha. She's long, she's down the centre of the fairway.
Yep.
She's more than likely will have a go.
Kari Webb, for a lot of the day, seemed as though she may be heading towards a second victory in this tournament. It was a bit of a stumbling start. She made a bogey at the 3rd, but then she was able to correct that pretty quickly. Got it around the hole, but got it in for a birdie at 4, and she was back to even par.
Then this at the 7th hole from very long range.
About 90 feet.
Yeah, it was a long, long way away. And it was a tough read, this, but this was just a superb roll. Beautifully judged by Kari there, so she went on to make the birdie.
And when she went out in 35, things were looking safe enough, but then this. That was a par putt at 13. She had difficulties with 13 2 days ago. So it proved again on Sunday. And then history repeated again.
Standing right on the waterline watching this shot. She did the water there Friday. She knew straight away it was right on the line of the rocks. Takes an almighty kick way out into the water. Looks to be a drop shot there for Kari.
And then at 16, it was an errant drive. She could only chip out onto the fairway. This was her 3rd. And just at that stage, it looked as though perhaps that might be a shot that might get her to the title. It still may, who knows. But she's got an issue here after driving it in the trap at 18. So to bring you up to date, we have 3 at -10. 2 of them are on the 18th at the moment, and the other one is that lady, Paula Creamer, signing for her round, a 69, and trying to stay in the mood just in case it's needed for a playoff.
Well, we saw Paula's Pink Panther, and there's Kari's ball with the boxing kangaroo on it. See, she's a lot further back in the bunker, actually further back than what I thought she was.
Need everybody to hold up, please.
Now she's got a rescue in her hand.
Yes. On the right, it covers everything.
Just wants to have a good look at it. I've often said about the landing area here, you stand down in that area and it seems as though you've got about 20 square yards to hit the ball. It's anything but that. There's plenty of room up there. First part of the equation, though, with this club is get it out.
Oh, definitely. That would be the worst thing. This is a very brave shot, and she's trying to get it down as far as she can so that she can at least get a wedge into this green.
And at least she's on a bit of an upslope as well, which will just help with the flight of the ball. Wow. We said the first part of the equation was get it out.
Straight over there.
She didn't even see where that went, and that may have been an error in judgment. It was a risky thing to do. Always going to be a risky thing to do. Watch this, just catches it a little bit thin. It catches the top of that grass in front of her.
Well, the problem is now she's up close to the big lip. So she's just got to knock it down. That'll be for 3. And then she's going to have to get up and down from there. Angela Stanford, meantime.
She's in a good position. Kari's going to walk away from today probably more than any other event and really feel like she just gave this away.
Well, she hasn't yet. That's the thing. It's not done yet, but it's going to be very difficult for her. Atha now might almost be in the box seat.
Atha
laying up.
Electing not to have a go at it.
So there's every chance if she can make birdie at the last, she wins. With what's unfolded here. Paula's going to go and keep the mind and the body focused, just in case the playoff is needed.
Well, the scenarios now is Kari's got to get this ball out, so this is her 3rd shot, so she's going to have to come up with something good to get up and down from wherever she puts this. Atha, you're going to think, has to make probably a 5 at worst. So there's every chance that we're going into a playoff today.
And it may not include Kari Webb. And you could not have believed that when she led by 3 not that long ago. First part done, but then the next part involves that devilishly difficult pin placement at 18. Kari's played 3, Atha has played 2, Paula's played 69 on Sunday, and that's all she's going to play until a playoff if it's needed. A dramatic conclusion to the HSBC Women's Champions unfolding in Singapore. Large crowd around the 18th, just trying to come to terms with what they're seeing. You described it as a pretty brave choice of shot, Sandy McKenzie, in the bunker. We'll talk about that with Kari Webb in a moment, but Paula Creamer, 27 years of age. Her day, we look back, she made a birdie at the 3rd. This was her approach at the par 5 4th. She was able to get it very close and get it to 2 under par. And at this stage, we thought, here she comes. That's the way it's proven.
Yeah, it's been a very, very good performance by Paula. Then she went on. She'd already made 2 birdies out to 34, and this was her shot to the par 5 12th. And they were 2 big hits today to get onto this green. There's a bit of breeze blowing, although you can't see it in the flag there, but coming off the harbour. But gave herself a really, really good chance of an eagle.
And then at 13, things looked as though they may have disappeared when she missed that putt for par. But in what has been such a topsy-turvy hour or so, a brilliant approach to 15 and the subsequent birdie put it back in contention. And how positive was this?
This was crucial. This par putt at 16. She rammed it in the hole. You see the fist pump there.
So she's been able to make her par at the last, a round of 69. Maybe talking to fiancé Derek. Paula Creamer's on the phone, perhaps to the man she's just become engaged to, Derek Heath. And while she is, Kari Webb is on the 18th and needs to get this close. She needs to get up and down from here to maybe be in a playoff.
Wow, that caught the top of the pine trees. It's really gone in a bizarre direction for Kari over these last half dozen holes. It's been quite extraordinary.
She's going to almost need a miracle to hold that. That is going to be so quick. And so advantage Ather again.
Yeah, Kari's nearly put herself out of the every chance. You know, she can chip that in, but well, that'd be a bonus if it goes in. But nearly put herself out of the equation. That is just so bizarre with what's gone on now. Angela Stanford. She was going great guns till she made a couple of bogeys in the last two holes.
Oh yes.
Nice looking shot there from Angela.
What Ather wouldn't give for one of those?
Now
Great fight back, as we said, from Angela Stanford, but it's all going to amount to nothing. And so Ather's been quietly going about her business, and she finds herself with the opportunity here of if she can get this up and down, she wins.
She's just 75 from the front there near that yellow dot. Well, Ather will have that putt for victory.
It's quick, but she's on the right level. That's the main thing. Paula continues to talk to nearest and dearest.
This is a real pressure pitch for Ather. She's only won once before. This is one of the biggest events they play in. She would love to have her name on this trophy, and what a great shot she came up with.
She's been a study of concentration for most of the week. Her iron play has been simply outstanding. She's come up with the iron shot that she needed when she most needed it, and her putter's been pretty good as well this week. She started with 32 putts, but she's got progressively better. 30 yesterday, or 30 on Friday, I should say, 26 yesterday. And now she needs the putter to work one last time.
Now you can see already Mikey Patterson, Kari's caddy, has the flag in his hand. She's probably going to try and do this without the flag there. She's got the putter. She knows this has to go in. It'd be something if she held this. Nothing would surprise me today.
I'll hear the roar from a long way away if she does. You'd have to think that it's unlikely. But then again, we thought it was unlikely that Kari would be in this position when she led by 3 not that long ago. To keep alive her chances of getting a name on the trophy for a second time. Remarkable, truly remarkable.
what she must be feeling right now. She was so in control, and then it just all came apart once she missed that short putt on 13. Things started to unravel.
And she's played since then so many uncharacteristic shots. You could probably pick 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, I think you're right, Pete. It's the shots that she's played which have been a little extraordinary.
So Ather is faced with the prospect of holding this, and she records her second victory on the LPGA Tour and beats one of the finest fields you get to assemble every year. It's quick. It all falls down towards the water. That was never high enough, and she's calling it down, clicking the fingers. And now she needs to hold that, and we go to a playoff.
And it's an ugly little length putt too. It's just one of those that, you know, she's obviously realising the situation that she's in right now puts a little bit of pressure on you.
Paula's off the phone and is getting herself ready perhaps for a playoff. For a closing birdie for Angela Stanford. And unfortunately for the 36-year-old, it was lost in the first 6 holes today when she got herself to 4 over par, but she gave everyone a thrill with the way she fought back. No trophy today, but she's already got her name on it once. Paula knows now that the worst that can happen is a playoff. 18, 18, 18 until we get a winner. Sudden death. You can only imagine the thoughts that are surging through Kari Webb's mind at the moment.
Well, Kari's going to be at least 3 over par for this back 9.
.74. Look at all those blue numbers in the run home. She led by 3 at one stage. Pressure can even affect one of the greatest the game has ever seen. Angela Stanford gets it in for a 75. So the two experienced people at the top, their experience doesn't count for much. A bit of empathy from the two combatants. And the way is clear for Ather to take us to an extra hole. Playoff it is then, between Spain and the United States. What a great finish from Ather Munoz. Birdie at 14, a birdie at 17, and that all-important par at the last. So the announcement being made by Kate Burton. Paula gets herself ready. Well, who would know? Does it make any difference, Sandy, that Atha will get out there with less of a time lag than Paula, because Paula's been waiting there for a good 20 minutes or so?
Oh, I think for Paula, the excitement of actually being in this playoff, it hasn't been that. It's not as though she's waited for, you know, an hour or so. Carlotta Saganda there, her fellow Spaniard, very thrilled for her.
I spoke to her earlier this week and she said she was really tight with Carlotta and Belen Motho. Now, Paula was out the back and had confirmation then that the playoff was happening. So now it's time to get down to business again.
I still can't comprehend that we've got this playoff without Kari Webb in it.
It's amazing to think that at one stage she was 3 shots in front, and we do go to a playoff and the Australian doesn't feature. It's the USA and Spain, and deservedly so. Paula Creamer's had a great last day, and so has Atha. So Yeon Yu made such a charge on the final day. But we go to one extra hole, perhaps. We'll play the 18th until we get a winner. It's sudden death. Paula Creamer and Atha Hara. All the things that are going through this lady's mind at the moment, I think I could probably pick one.
Yeah, go on. What would that be?
Don't hit your drive in the bunker.
That bunker has been like a magnet to Paula this week.
She looks relaxed about this.
I think she's fairly happy about being in this playoff. And you've got to think from Paula's point of view too. She's always one of the leading players, no matter where they tee it up. And but it has been a while. We've talked about it endless times. 2010 US Open was her last win. So, you know, it's now 2014 and she would be just ecstatic to pick up a title now.
I think this is a really good sign from Paula. She looks relaxed coming in here. And because of that fact you just mentioned, you would expect that there might be a little bit of pressure on her shoulders. But just at the moment, it doesn't look like it.
And I've also got to say, talking to Paula the other day when we were discussing her engagement, she said life is actually very different for her these days. Her priorities are different. She's enjoying life a whole lot more, and I think she's just in a really, really good place. And a little bit more relaxed side of Paula now. She said golf, you know, it's not everything, but I hasten to add that I expect at this moment, Pete, that golf is everything.
Well, it is for the next half hour or however long it goes.
Now, here come
they're all heading out.
Yes, Christy Kerr, Brittany Lang, Morgan Pressel.
So the trophy awaits, and now we go from the 63 who began the week in its quest to just 2. Will it be the United States of America who have their 3rd successive winner, or can Spain capture the crown? It is Creamer versus Munoz. Paula Creamer has looked so relaxed. She's been munching away. She's had a little bag of pretzels she's having a go at, and I don't think the pretzels will be making her thirsty. I think it might be just a bit of dryness in the mouth, but she's looked very relaxed. Atha likewise throughout much of her week. So she looks for her 2nd LPGA victory.
Yeah, of course, a little bit of delay here is the fact that after all that, Atha still has to go in and check her cards, sign it, she'll have a little, you know, 5-minute break.
Great reception. This is where this venue is so good, because everyone gets around the 18th. They've been waiting at 9 for a long part of the day. There's a good indicator of the drought that we've had, drought conditions in Singapore, the water level in the lake there well down, but it's not water that Paula Creamer is going to be worried about off the tee at 18 so much as sand, because all 4 days she's put it in the bunker, and now this will be congratulations on getting here. Good luck. Paula in search of her 9th LPGA victory. Atha in search of her second, the Sybase Match Play Championship in 2012. But remarkably, while she only has one victory, she is a more recent winner than Paula Creamer. Marty's in charge of the cart to get Paula down there safely. Pete's got charge of the second cart. Let's have a look at this 18th and let's understand the reason why Paula Creamer is trying to avoid the bunker. Not the one on the water side, Sandy, the one on the other side.
Yes, it is the far bunker there. It's at an awkward range. It's right in range, and for 4 days it's been like a magnet for Paula, but you've got to miss the water on the left, bunker on the right, get yourself in the fairway. Then you either get to that area there, which is the layup zone, or it's just a wedge in, or if you get it far enough down, you can have a go. But it is an incredibly tough pin, this front left pin. You can see it just tucked in when the pin comes down. It'll be just behind those little palm trees there over the pot bunker. You must get, whether it's your second or your third shot, well, definitely if it's your third shot, it's got to be down in that hollow on the right level because it is such a treacherous green. They make their way down towards the 18th tee.
Port of Singapore in the background. Great backdrop for this championship, one of the more dramatic ones. We had a playoff in 2012. That was at a different course, Tanamera. This is the second staging here at Sentosa. Stacey Lewis getting the victory last year. Will it be another American win?
We've had a number of dramatic finishes to this event.
Well, remember Jenny Shin.
Jenny Shin in the playoff.
She stood on the tee at 18 going back a few years ago and looked as though she was about to capture the victory, and the storm came in and we had to go off the golf course.
She's a paper in there. I got a 1 and a 2. 1 goes first, 2 goes second. Trust me? 1. Number 1. Okay, Paul, you'll play first. Paul's
Simple way of deciding who goes first.
Paula's got iron.
Surely she's just having a loosen up with that. Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't be wondering what she was thinking. No, that was just, remember, she's had that sort of half hour or so wait. Just a little loosen up there.
Because it is only 160 or so to carry that trap on the other side. Driver, it is.
Now the line is sort of, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, sort of 5 little mounds on that bunker in front, just on the other side of the water. You've nearly got to go over that second one from the left.
And avoid that trap.
Because with the angle of the tee, that trap really seriously comes right into focus.
I think it'll mean a lot to her confidence if all of a sudden she plays a tee shot down here, she gets it a long way down, all of a sudden she says, I finally avoided the trap, and then the thought's got to be in her head, maybe this is mine. Maybe I'm just destined to win this. So all thoughts of sand blocked out. And that's the one she was after.
Well, it's taken her 5 attempts, but she's finally missed that bunker on the right.
Yippee!
I think she just wanted to have another go at that, Pete.
She's been really relaxed in the lead up to the playoff. So now the pressure goes back on Atha.
Now you can see there, Atha is not electing to take the driver.
Been very self-assured with her driving most of the week and aiming it at Paula's former bunker and coming up short, so she is quite a fair way back there.
Yeah, she is. She's used that to take that right bunker out of play.
Paula Creamer's day, a day that has taken her all the way into the playoff. And in fact, this is her week. We look back at some of the moments. She was able to hold a couple of great putts in a stretch at 10 and this one at 11 in round 1. And that seemed to give her a bit of impetus. Then in the second round, trying to just keep the momentum going. That down at the 7th hole. The putter working along nicely. She made her way to a first round 67, a second round 73, and then she came up with this remarkable shot yesterday. Second shot at the 9th hole. This was her best shot all day, and she had a few good ones on the way to that 69. Talked at the time about the fact that she and Colin Kahn, the caddy, like to plot their way around the golf course, and they did that very effectively. Then at the 15th hole, one of the toughest holes on the golf course, she was able to keep the putter working. Today, the start was good. Birdie at 3, then this one at 4, and by this stage, Sandy, her confidence must have been sky high and thinking, I can get this done today.
Yeah, and she's probably starting to find too that Curry, might have dropped the odd shot at this point, and Paula was, I mean, she had to go for it. Somebody had to come out of the blocks today and have a go. And Paula was right in there all day. It was an exceptional performance, around a 69. Just the one bogey on her card today at the 13th.
Now she's taking the walk that she's been trying to take all week, and that is on the grass and staying on the grass at 18. Best drive of the week at the final hole.
This will seem like a whole new hole to her today. She's come out of that bunker every day, so she's finally found the fairway, and in a good position there too. Ather is a lot further back, electing not to take the driver off the tee. So Ather, from that point, I mean, it's still 270 yards to get to the front of the green from here. So she will just play this down. She's far enough back where she can actually play it with the fairway wood.
And there's that line again that the players look at that is so deceptive. Looks like just a massive sand in front of you. Plenty of room to find the grass.
Started that well out to the right. Now it's coming out of the rough. The ball's going to be slightly above her feet. It was certainly further right than what she would be looking for.
The positive out of that is that it gives you a good angle to come in.
Let's take a look at this swing. I think she's such a nice looking player, Ather. Gets up on the toes there. It's really good to see these players in slow-mo.
Yeah, the ultra slow motion camera has been giving us some magnificent high definition pictures this year. So Paula's got a decision to make here. I don't think she's far enough down to even consider it, and it is just going to be a layup.
Yeah, she's got to be about 220 from the front of the green there. It's not an easy access green, this one. So just finding a spot down there where she's just going to have a wedge into the green. So both players playing this as a legitimate par 5. Yeah, nicely done, just right in the centre there. You can see the shot that they have, how close they do get this pin to that corner of the water on the 18th green.
We talked before, Sandy, that it's only 8 paces from the pin to the water's ledge, and then it's about 7 or 8 paces from the pin above the hole to that ledge, and that's where Paula was, above that ledge, and that was what cost her the opportunity of putting for a birdie. So she knows that the most important thing she can do right now is just get it on that right level with her third shot.
So now we come down to a couple of short shots. Probably slight advantage here to Paula. She's out in the middle of the fairway. Atha just got hers in the edge of the right-hand rough, just kept it a little too far to the right. So the ball might be a little bit above her feet.
Looking at the greens in regulation figures going back last year, well, they're going to hit the green. There's not too much doubt about that. But the greens in reg figures, Paula was 13th in greens in regulation, and Atha was 9th. So she's one of the more accurate iron players on tour. As Sandy said, she's come up just a little bit more right than she would have liked. So she's in that first cut. Is that going to impact on what sort of check she's going to be able to get on the ball?
Always it's just a tad harder to control. I think the bigger concern, the concern here is the angle she's coming in. Everything falls from right to left. The high side is on the right, and the low side is where the flag is on the left. It's quite a big hollow there. Ball's just slightly above her feet there, and that's always going to encourage that little bit of left to right. You're coming out of the rough, you never quite get the spin and the control that you would do off the fairway.
It's lying pretty well though, and she does have a bit of a backboard beyond the pin.
Yeah, it's not a bad angle, Pete, really, because if she goes too long here, it will run and come back around. Oh.
Trying to work its way back.
That was really well done out of the rough. There was no real spin on that ball, got it to land fairly softly.
And the one thing she'll know from the first putt she had, even though it comes from a slightly different angle, is that she will need to give it a lot more right to left than she did with the first one.
Little smile of relief, I think, on Atha's face there. Let's take a look at the contact here. Caught it nice and clean. Beautiful contact. Now over to you, Paula, from the centre of the fairway. She's now looking at Atha's ball, sitting in there not all that far from the flag.
Remember her approach shot last time, she got it a bit fat and it went beyond the pin to the wrong level. She simply must be on the same plateau as the pin with this. Otherwise the putt becomes incrementally harder. She's managed that, and we're still at an even money bet.
Yes, well, that's anybody's guess there. Both of similar distance. Let's take a look at this shot of Paula's. It's a nice base, transfers over on that left side. Always gets up on her toes a little bit, even with a short shot. So both similar distance from the flag. Atha coming from behind the flag. Paula a little more around to pin high.
I talked about what they did with their greens in regulation stats, Sandy, so maybe we should look at their putting average. Paula, her putting average was 30.13, put her 73rd on the list last year. Atha only just scraped into the top 125. And we know that this putt for both players will be testing because of the pace, and sometimes you worry so much about the pace that you forget the line, and sometimes it's vice versa.
It looks like Atha is going to be the first to go. Now, she'll have a really good indication as to what this is going to do, because it's not all that far from where she was the first time around today. Just half an hour or so ago.
It's one of those putts where you just help it on its way. Can't afford to stroke it because it's easy if you don't hit the hole to finish up 3, 4, 5 feet past.
This is Atha's 102nd event on the LPGA. Career-wise, she's made 83 cuts, had 18 top 10s and just the one win, and that was in match play too. But she has that one win, how she would dearly love that trophy at the end of today.
She describes herself as happy, smiley, determined and a bit stubborn. Determined would be the quality that she's called on here. Misses to the low side.
Tried to allow a lot more than she did the first time around on that putt. But it's a big swinging area, this. So now she can only stand back and watch what Paula Creamer does. So Paula Creamer will now have a putt for the title.
She'll have a putt to stop that question being asked about the last victory, that 2010 US Open Championship, her 9th LPGA victory and her most recent, around about 3.5 years ago. The rest of the players are out there and they're ready for the celebration, and they look more nervous than Paula does. This for the win, to make it 3 in a row at the HSBC Women's Champions for the US of A. Took a piece of it as well.
She thought she had it too, but a little bit too pacey.
It's run on a bit as well.
Okay.
Smiling, that's a nervous smile from Paula.
Let's take a look at her reaction here.
She thought she had it. Judging by the reaction and the oohs and ahs that went up from the crowd, a lot of them did too. It's time to forget about that first putt and worry about the second. Shouldn't be an issue, but in this circumstance, there is no such thing as an easy putt.
There's still a little bit of movement in these putts. She's coming from below the pin now. It'll just be inside the left.
I saw that putt she hit on 16 from a long distance. So positive when she needed to hole it.
And nice and firm into the hole, not giving that ball a chance to move anywhere.
Almost looks as though she's enjoying this. I'm not sure how you could. Maybe it's just those of us who stand outside the gallery ropes that feel the pressure. Because I think we're feeling it in here, and I think the crowd around the 18th are feeling it, but it doesn't look as though Paula and Atha are feeling it that much. Maybe that's just the facade.
So back we go again to the 18th tee. They have tied the par fives.
darts will be at the ready. I wonder just what the heart rate is at the moment for those players.
They're going to have a few nuts on the way down there.
Yeah, well, it's been
A long day.
pretzels for Paula and maybe some nuts for Atha. It is a long day. Got to keep your food intake up and your liquid intake up. It's been draining. It's been draining physically and obviously draining mentally. The second playoff hole about to come up. Spain versus the USA in Singapore. That's next. Obviously, Marty's a better driver because he started second and got Paula up to the tee first. They might have to get ready to do it all again. Just with where the tee is, Sandy, you'd have to think it's probably going to take a birdie.
Well, I think so today. I think, I think par is easy enough to make down there with, if you can get the drive in play, just lay up short, wedge in, and a couple of putts. That all sounds very easy, doesn't it? But
Yep.
I think it's going to be the one who does make the birdie who's going to win this. I can't see anybody doing anything silly. Paula gets another chance to avoid her favourite bunker.
Yeah, when you say it quickly and say what they need to do, it all sounds pretty simple,
Doesn't it
doesn't it?
just?
But there's a huge title at stake here and a fair bit of money as well. This is what they're fighting for. They're also fighting for a fair chunk of money as well. $210,000 US, but to join Lorena Ochoa and all of the other names that are on there. Jia Shin, Jaime Azato, Kari Webb, Angela Stanford, Stacey Lewis. Second playoff hole.
Now Paula will be trying very much to do what she did the last time, just keep it inside that right bunker. She's certainly not holding back. It's a nice drive. It's a very, very good drive down 18. So now over to Atha. Now Atha didn't take the driver. Well, she's got the driver out this time.
Interesting change of strategy. And a great sign. Is she going to try and knock it down into the go zone? She's got a bit of run out of it. Be touch and go whether that's far enough down.
Yeah, both players shouldn't be too far apart there. Similar bounces past that right bunker.
We might be here for a while, Sandy, because remember, Paula Creamer had a playoff against G.A. Shin in 2012 at Kingsmill. Went to 9 holes.
That's a long playoff. Let's take a look at Atha. She changed her tactics here. She elected to go with the driver. Played just with a rescue before that, and was sort of well short of those bunkers.
And this is the day of Atha Munoz on the final day. Couldn't have got off to a worse start. Bogey at the first, bogey at the second. Her confidence shaken, and then she picked herself back up, and look at this, down the slope. A brilliant birdie at the fourth, and when you hole putts like that, things can get back on track, and she holed another birdie putt at 5.
Well, this was a spectacular shot that she played into the par 3 14th, that back left pin, and gave herself that really great chance at birdie there.
And then at 17, it still looked as though it was going to take a bit of a miracle for her to get there. But when she rolled in that birdie putt and made it a 2 at the 14th and a 2 at the 17th, it was very much a possibility, and it remains so. We're getting lots of messages from around the world that you are sitting on the edge of your seats, and you're not the only ones.
Now, both these players have both hit really, really good drives down here. And they've hit them fairly long. So will somebody attempt to have a go at this green?
Well, I wonder whether that's the thought process behind Atha taking the driver when she didn't take it the first time, thinking that I've got to change things up a bit here. We could be here all day making 5s. Someone's got to stand up and take it by the scruff of the neck.
Well, she got home with 2 beautiful shots on the 12th today. See, Paula, how close they are. Atha will be first to go. Johnny Scott, her caddy, just stepping out to that blue disc in the middle of the fairway there. That blue disc is 202 yards from the front of the green. So she's around 210 from the front. So it's under 220 to get there for Atha.
That's the most important book they read all year, isn't it?
Oh,
Especially in this circumstance.
It's got everything in there, and the course is marked out with a series of coloured dots, the red, white and blues, and the caddies get numbers from those to the front of the green. Then they're given their pin sheets at the start of every day. They add those pins on. Now Atha is electing to play it safe. She's just going to lay up again, possibly into a little better position than she did the last time. Got her going a little bit too much right. Yeah, that's nice. Still down the right-hand side.
A good angle again.
Yep, opens up the angle to the green. Just gets it past horizontal a little bit there, but that's no drama. These players have such great control, but they have such great rhythm and timing. And I think that's the beauty of the women's game. It's just the rhythm and the timing is really quite superb.
Now Paula with a lot of club in hand. She's going for it, trying to get it as far down there as possible. Is it going to pay off?
Oh, now, Pete, the problem she's got we can see, but she is on the green. Long way away, but... Okay, so...
Paula is the first one of the two to throw caution to the winds. She's got the result she wanted, but as you say, Sandy, it's a very difficult putt from there. Very difficult to putt from where she is. She's taken the chance. And here are the putts that we saw just a few moments ago. Atha knows that if she's got that putt, she's had a similar putt twice now, and she's almost got to convince herself to hit it a foot or so right of where she thinks it might be. And then Paula thought she had it. And have a look at the crowd behind her. Some of them did too. So depending on your outlook, the agony continues, or the excitement continues, or the drama continues.
So Paula with the putter in hand. Johnny Scott just stepping off what Atha has left there. She's coming from a really good angle here, just on the right centre of this fairway, the pin tucked tight front left. Paula will wander around and survey this incredibly difficult putt she has. She is on in two though. But she's a long way away with one very severe slope in front of her.
So now playing the hole in the conventional fashion, the way that most players have played it. Good angle again to come in. She's found herself on the right level twice already. Needs to make it three. And she has made it three, and she's got a different putt this time. And that is not such a bad place to be putting from.
Well, she knows it's going to move right to left, because she would have seen, of course, Paula's wasn't that dissimilar to that a little while ago, maybe a little further around, but she's got it in there. Now, Paula is in a very, very difficult spot. You can see her ball where she's walking to it 2/3 of the way back on this massive big green, but it's all downhill, down the big slopey ridge into this little bottom gully that it virtually is.
Paula Creamer's playoff record, by the way, she's been involved in 3 playoffs, and she is 1 win and 2 losses in playoffs. And from what I can see looking at the records, I can't find Atha having been in a playoff. Now, when you look at this, it is such a difficult thing to convince yourself to hit the ball so far out to the right.
Now, Pete, you were out there this morning. You hold something pretty spectacular rolling it on this green this morning.
Well, I did, but it's not in the pressure of a playoff. And what I found there, Sandy, is exactly what I just said, that you don't even look at the hole. You have to aim it out so far to the left as we look at it now. But that was from a bit closer to the ridge. Paula is a bit further back than that.
So she knows once she hits the ridge, it's going to take off. So she's got to have that really dying at the top of that ridge. And she's got to also work out how far up that ridge she's got to go, because it's going to take a pretty sharp left turn.
Now here's what we've spoken about with the players, breaking the putt down into compartments. First part of the putt is to get it to a spot on the ridge and to get it there and practically stop it.
And then from there, just try and work out what it's going to do when it hits that ridge and runs down towards the hole.
For the championship, yes, if it does go in, but this is not about holding the putt. It's a bonus if it goes in. It's almost a miracle. So now Paula just looking to get it stone dead and put the pressure back on her Spanish opponent. Pick up speed from here. It is a miracle.
I simply cannot believe what I just saw.
You could stand there all day and try and do that. Paula Creamer does it at the moment that matters most. The drought is over, and could it be done more spectacularly than that? Her 10th LPGA Tour crown, her first since the US Open in 2010. A truly remarkable moment. Watch again and just listen. So miracles do happen after all. No need for words at a time like this, really. That putt and that expression says it all.
What an extraordinary way to break this drought she's had, and what a way to win a tournament.
Robbie Henchman from IMG, who's worked very closely with Paula over many years now.
The phone's out.
Yeah, I think Derek Heath on the speed dial, or perhaps the family. Well worth another look. This is not going to be the last time we see it, and nor should it be. Spare a thought for Atha Munoz at the moment.
Should be in absolute disbelief that Paula could hold that there for the win. And an eagle. Amazing.
Everyone around the 18th is in disbelief. None more so than this young lady, 27 years of age. In the words of that great golf commentary all those years ago, maybe. Yes, sir. Victory number 10 to Paula Creamer in the most amazing of circumstances for the presentation of the trophy after the HSBC Women's Champions of 2014. Let's head down to Kate Burton.
For the second time in this tournament's history, we've witnessed a playoff, and has there ever been a more dramatic playoff than the finish that we have all just been a party to? We have a new champion in 2014, Paula Creamer, and I'm delighted to introduce Guy Harvey-Samuel, the Chief Executive Officer of HSBC Singapore, who will shortly present the magnificent trophy. But, oh my goodness me, Paula, I think I can feel you shaking.
I am. I'm shaking. Oh my gosh, this has been such a long time coming, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Colin, my caddy. He's my best friend. He's been there through it all, and we've had such a good last 7 months just working on what we've been doing, and obviously it's a bit of luck going in on that one. I've putted it several times today, but you know, Arthur hit a great shot in there, and you know, she's such a good competitor as well. But you know, when that happens, you just, you know, there's nothing you can do.
You must have had nerves of steel coming down the stretch in regulation play. Kari Webb was playing well. She faltered down the stretch, and you hold some brilliant putts.
I did. You know, I definitely tested myself coming down the stretch, that's for sure. I had to make a bunch of 6-7 footers. But, you know, I just kept grinding it, kept on, you know, just doing what Colin and I were, you know, planning on doing. And, you know, it was fun playing with Morgan and Teresa. You know, it's nice playing with one of your best friends, and, you know, kind of kept me calm out there. But, you know, it was a grind all day, and like I said, this has been a long time coming.
You snapped that winless streak.
Yes.
You went for the green in 2 in the second hole of sudden death playoff. You knew the putt was going to be fast. Can you talk us through that enormous eagle putt?
I mean, it reminded me a bunch of a putt in Solheim Cup that I had, a long one I played with Christy Kerr, and it's one of those putts where if you just get it in the right spot, it's going to, you know, fall down. But I could stand there all day long and putt that, and I don't think get it within, you know, 6-7 feet. And you know, it just happened, and I finally hit the fairway the first 2 times in the playoff. And you know, I was previously in the playoff, you know, a couple years ago, and I refused to go to 8-9 more holes, so I was going to try to end it.
You were also just on the phone a second ago.
Yeah.
Who were you trying to call?
I was calling my mom and dad. You know, they've obviously seen it all, but you know, Derek was the second one, but I think my dad would, you know, we're not married yet, so Dad would have been a little bit upset if I called Derek first. But hi Mom, hi Dad, hey Derek. But you know, it's pretty neat when you can share it with everybody.
Yeah, you must have woken them up as well, because I'm just looking at the time here in Singapore, so they weren't expecting that call. Maybe they were.
No, whatever call it was, I called them actually before the playoff too, and you know, they just said, you know, stay calm, be happy, and you know, you don't have to prove anything, just go out there and play some golf.
How good does it feel to be back in the winner's circle again?
It feels so good. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how good it really does feel. This is a big win. This is a huge win. You know, and it's just a lot of hard work. So.
Well, the hard work has certainly paid off. Guy, would you please present the magnificent trophy to our 2014 HSBC Women's Champion, Paula Creamer.
That smile has lit up the LPGA for a long time now. She's been one of the game's great ambassadors, but that's a special smile from Paula, because as she said, the drought is over. She's been working so hard to end it, and she's obviously very emotional about it, and you can understand that too.
Oh, and just a little bit excited as well, isn't she? It's she's waited a long time, and it's simply awesome.
So what does that mean as far as the CME race to the globe is concerned? Paula Creamer now has vaulted to the top and leads from Kari Webb, Jessica Korda, Anna Nordquist. Obviously our 4 winners so far this year at the top, but Paula Creamer has gone all the way to the top. Yes. And that's why she's holding the trophy there with Guy Harvey-Samuel. Well, we saw a miracle finish for Shan Shan last year, but that's right up there with it, Sandy. That was incredible.
Pete, this event always has so much excitement and drama about it, and it just doesn't get any better than that.